You have to have zero insistence on what the outcome should look like because our physical minds are kind of limited. The higher mind understands what it is that really needs to happen next that will serve us best. The physical mind often will not really be able to comprehend what that's supposed to look like. So it's not that people can't visualize an ideal outcome. Of course they can. But if they insist on it, they may actually be blocking something better because what to the physical mind may seem to be the ultimate outcome, to the higher mind is just the beginning. And the higher mind is actually capable of delivering something far better than the physical mind possibly could have imagined. So to insist that the outcome has to look a certain way is actually placing a limitation on ourselves and possibly preventing something better from happening than our physical mind was actually capable of imagining.
Well, and I suppose that lack of attachment
Yeah,
effectively.
I mean, like I said, the visualization is great. You can use those tools, you can have goals and so on and so forth. The idea really behind doing that is not so that the way you've pictured it has to manifest.
Mm.
The reason to do that is because that's a symbol that represents an ideal outcome that gets you excited. So the sole purpose of visualization, of having a vision, is to get you in the state of excitement. That means you're aligned with your higher self, your true self, and then dropping the picture, but staying in the state of excitement allows the higher mind to fill the space that you just made and bring you what actually needs to happen next without your picture getting in the way.
Mm.
So the picture is just to pump you up and be in the correct state to receive whatever the higher mind needs to give you. Whereas if you insist on that picture that your physical mind has created, you're kind of blocking the higher mind's ability to actually deliver what it needs to deliver to you that would actually serve you best. Now, people get confused because sometimes the thing that happens next may actually be something you don't prefer. But the point is there's always a way to use it in a way that you do prefer. And if for some reason something manifests that you don't prefer, the first thing you need to do to stay in a positive state is know that that had to have happened for a reason that will serve you. And if you stay in that state, you will see how that actually does serve you by having shown up in your life. Whereas if you just think, well, this happened and now something's wrong, I didn't do it right, or it's representative of the fact that I'm a bad person, or what's it trying to tell me, you're missing the point that there is something here for you to give you an opportunity to learn something that will actually progress you in life in the most powerful and the quickest possible way. So, just to put this in the most simple terms, if something shows up that you don't prefer,
Mhm.
at the very least, one positive way to use that is to recognize that we will often attract things into our lives that we don't prefer, if for no other reason than to illustrate to ourselves more clearly, by contrast, what we do prefer. So, using what we don't prefer to more clearly understand what we do prefer
Mhm.
is a positive way to use what we don't prefer. And as soon as we use it that way and glean the lesson from it and gain clarity from it, it'll go away because it's served its purpose. And you can move
Almost,
on to the next thing more quickly.
so almost adopting the belief that life is happening for us, not.
Yes,
I
not
mean,
against us. And it's not happening to us, it's
yeah,
happening through us.
yeah.
So it's just a reflection of what we're giving off. And again, it doesn't always mean that it's a one-to-one reflection. So you see something you don't prefer, you go, well, like I said, oh, well, that must mean that I'm a bad person or something. No, it's there as an opportunity to teach us something. And if we use it that way, we will move forward that much more quickly because that was the purpose it showed up for. Whereas if we deny that it belongs in our lives, that it's there for any good reason, we're actually making it stick around longer because we're not getting the point that it's there for a reason and
Yeah.
we're not using it up. We're making it stick around and making things go more slowly because we refuse to believe that there is any good reason why something like that could happen in our lives. But there always is. There always is.
Absolutely beautiful. And I suppose our brain is then looking for that reason. If we're looking for an empowering meaning, our
Yeah,
brain.
we just don't always recognize the sign because we have a preconceived notion about what the sign is supposed to look like. And
Mm.
that's, again, why Bashar is saying we have to absolutely drop all assumption and insistence as to what the outcome is supposed to look like, because we will often fool ourselves into thinking it's supposed to look a certain way because we've been taught that that's the way it's supposed to be. And very often it has to be very unexpected and come to us from a completely different direction to get us out of our normal patterns, which is the whole idea.